appreciate everybody being here. Welcome to the Monday, June 15th general meeting of your Goldsboro City Council. As our tradition, we will begin our meeting with invocation, this time by our fire chaplain, our Archbishop Anthony Slater, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Archbishop.
Good evening, Council, Mayor.
Good evening.
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for once again allowing us to come together with the meeting of the minds. Father, we thank you for what's happening in the city of Goldsboro as we grow and go. Father, we thank you for what you're about to do even tonight, God, and we thank you for being a kind of God that's concerned about everyone and not just only one or two. But we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, as we move through our roll call, again, everyone, thank you so much for being able to be here. I know how demanding this role has been over the last month and now going into June. Quick reminder to everyone, including myself, please silence your phones, watches, all the other fun stuff. And with that, we'll move to a roll call. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
Mayor Gaylor.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Weeks.
Present.
Councilman Boyette.
Present.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilwoman Matthews.
Present.
Councilman White.
Present.
All right. Let's move forward with an adoption of the agenda. Mr. Livingston, are there any recommended changes or requested changes from staff?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 4.5 is a request to remove that off the agenda, please, sir.
All right. And that one we'll be able to do at the chair's convenience. We appreciate all that they do and look forward to hearing from them at a future meeting. It simply did not work out with their schedule.
That's correct.
All right, perfect. Council, any other requested changes to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. All right, all in favor? Is there any debate? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote electronically if possible.
Madam Clerk, affirmative.
Thank you.
All right. So let's pause just for a second. Councilwoman Jones, just for a quick update, we have brought the meeting to order, and we'll now be adding you to the roster of those present. The agenda that is in front of you, there's a request to modify it to remove item 4.5, which is one of the presentations. Other than that, there is no other requested changes. How do you vote on the agenda?
Okay, to approve.
To approve? All right. All voting in the affirmative, the motion as modified will be our business order of the day. All right, so with that, let's move directly into our recognitions and presentations. We will begin with a Gun Violence Awareness Month proclamation. National Gun Violence Awareness Month. Whereas gun violence continues to affect communities across the United States, causing loss of life, injury, trauma, and lasting impacts on families, neighborhoods, and public safety. And whereas every resident deserves to live, work, learn, worship, and gather in environments that are safe and free from violence. And whereas National Gun Violence Awareness Month is observed each June to honor victims and survivors of gun violence and to raise awareness about the importance of preventing firearm-related injuries and deaths. And whereas communities, law enforcement agencies, healthcare professionals, educators, faith leaders, and community organizations play an important role in promoting safety, supporting victims, and advancing violence prevention efforts. And whereas the City of Goldsboro is committed to fostering a safe, healthy, and resilient community through collaboration, education, prevention initiatives, and support for those affected by violence. And whereas recognizing National Gun Violence Awareness Month provides an opportunity to encourage constructive dialogue, community engagement, and awareness of resources that help prevent violence and promote public safety. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Goldsboro City Council does hereby proclaim June 2026 as National Gun Violence Awareness Month in the City of Goldsboro, and encourage all residents to honor the lives lost to gun violence, support survivors and their families, and participate in efforts that promote safety, peace, and well-being throughout our community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affixed the seal of the City of Goldsboro, this the 15th day of June, 2026. Ms. Getz, I believe there was someone to come forward and receive this proclamation.
he must be running late.
Okay. I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, so we'll present this one at a later date. Okay. Next, we'll move to item 4.2, a Juneteenth proclamation. And we do have someone to come forward and receive this proclamation and then be able to discuss an event that is planned in celebration of Juneteenth. Whereas news of emancipation did not reach the American Southwest, including Texas, until months after the Civil War's end and over 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And whereas on June 19, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War had ended and all enslaved people were free. And whereas slavery was not officially abolished until the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States in December of 1865. And whereas formerly enslaved African Americans in the Southwest celebrated June 19th, commonly known as Juneteenth, as inspiration and encouragement for future generations. And whereas Juneteenth has been observed by African American communities for more than 150 years, evolving from regional commemorations to a nationwide celebration. And whereas on June 17, 2021, President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, recognizing Juneteenth as a federal holiday. And whereas Juneteenth celebrations have been held to honor African American freedom, history, and heritage, while encouraging self-development and respect for all cultures. And whereas the faith and strength of character demonstrated by formerly enslaved individuals and their descendants remain an example for all people of the United States, regardless of background, religion, or race. And whereas the City of Goldsboro is committed to promoting diversity, racial, and cultural harmony. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Goldsboro City Council hereby proclaims Friday, June 19, 2026 as Juneteenth in the City of Goldsboro, recognizing it as a vital part of American heritage and supporting its nationwide celebration to foster historical learning and cultural understanding. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affix the seal of the City of Goldsboro this the 15th day of June, 2026. Ms. Taylor, if you would. One of y'all come on the side. That way we can take. Perfect, perfect. Perfect. And I know you have something to talk about.
I do.
I love it. Please.
Okay. Again, thank you to the city council, mayor. Thank you so much for approving yet again another Juneteenth Unity and Heritage Festival, previously known as the Jams Out Juneteenth Festival. We will be celebrating this Saturday in downtown Goldsboro at the Hub from 3 to 7 p.m. And we do have some amazing sponsors this year. But on Juneteenth, Dillard Goldsboro and alumni and friends, they will be having a dinner the night at the Alumni Building. And right before the Juneteenth Festival, the James and Pine Street Parklet will be doing the ribbon cutting, and they will be having bricks for sale if you do want to commemorate your business or yourself. So I will be there first, and then head on over to the Hub from 3 to 7 p.m.
Thank you. Quiet in here tonight. It's concerning. I'm worried. All right. We'll move to item 4.3. Proclamation commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Whereas on July 4th, 2026, the United States of America will commemorate the 250th anniversary of its founding, marking 2.5 centuries of freedom, civic responsibility, and the resilience that has propelled our nation forward through every generation. And whereas throughout its history, our nation has faced extraordinary challenges, including war, economic hardship, natural disasters, social divisions, and moments of profound uncertainty. And whereas generations of Americans have worked tirelessly to build stronger communities, expand opportunity, advance innovation, defend freedom, and leave a brighter future for those who would follow. And whereas the story of the United States is not defined solely by its triumphs, but by its ability to endure hardship, learn from challenges, and emerge stronger than the dedication and sacrifice of its people. Whereas the city of Goldsboro recognizes that the same spirit of resilience that carried our nation through its most difficult moments continues to inspire communities today and will guide future generations as they meet the opportunities and challenges of the centuries ahead. And whereas this 250th anniversary provides an opportunity to reflect upon our shared history, honor the sacrifices and contributions of those who came before us, celebrate the strength and diversity of our people, and reaffirm our commitment to building a future worthy of the generations yet to come. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Goldsboro City Council does hereby recognize the year 2026 as the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the city of Goldsboro, and encourage all residents to commemorate this historic milestone by reflecting on our nation's journey, honoring the enduring spirit that has carried us through adversity, and embracing the responsibility of shaping a future marked by courage, service, and hope. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affixed the seal of the city of Goldsboro, this the 15th day of June, 2026. We'll come back to that.
That's social media.
Yes,
sir.
So you can tell Stacy and Simmons as well?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor, City Council. Thank you. It's so good to see all of you, and certainly those out here too. Archbishop, it's always a pleasure. The Chamber thinks of this community as it's our home. And so we're so proud that on the 4th of July this year, the Chamber, along with tons of sponsors, tons of people, matter of fact, the entire community has come together really to provide a 4th of July event that I think will do justice to the commemoration of our 250th birthday. Our plan and our desire and our prayer for the Lord is that we see a ton of folks all come together to really enjoy what has happened here. And I will see it. KT will be our MC for the event. Archbishop, I'd love to see you there for the event. I'd love to see you all there for the event, but I promise you, the Chamber has put together an event that I think is first class, and one that I think you'll leave here going, I am so proud to be an American, but more so, I'm so proud to be a citizen and a leader here in Wayne County, and more importantly, of course, Goldsboro. And so, thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I'm absolutely amazed to even see this, and to know that the Lord has put us here for this time as this, such a time as this. I'm so thankful. So, with that said, I would love to see you all out at the 4th of July at 4 to 9. That's when it will open up. The fireworks will go off. And I'm praying that the weather continues to do well and that we have an opportunity to really share this time together. And again, I got to say it. This weekend, KT, what you're also doing here, it's amazing. And so God bless you for what you're doing for us. And we look forward to a wonderful night on the 4th of July. Is there any questions that anybody has about the event?
Fairgrounds.
Okay,
Location.
So it is at the fairgrounds, so 4 to 9 at the fairgrounds, just like at, during the fair. But I'll tell you what, we've done things a little bit differently. Our expectation is there's going to be a couple of entrances, so folks will get in and out as quickly as possible. But also the safety of our folks is near and dear to all of our hearts. So we've been doing great with the county and with the GPD when it comes to making sure that we have the safest place. But also with UNC Health Wayne, it's going to be hot. So we're going to have plenty of opportunities for folks to be able to get hydrated, but we have a lot of different opportunities there for folks to really make sure that they're well taken care of. There'll be a lot of space for shade, but I do have to say this. there's going to be a lot of great food trucks. So you're going to have 16 wonderful food trucks. You're also going to have a potential city manager who's going to be speaking and singing a little bit as well. That's going to be over by our antique car show. But we've got a number of folks from a BMX biking that's going to be out there doing demonstrations. We've got our local bands, 581 South, Wood and Steel, Zach King Band that will be out there. We've got an amazing kids zone that's going to be out there through Bethel Church. We really appreciate that. Matter of fact, most of the churches have all come together very, very well to really put together a wonderful family fun entertainment. But then ultimately, I think the thing that really will set this apart is at 9 o'clock. We will have a great, great display of fireworks. But even prior to that, we're going to present the colors. We're going to present the colors of the United States of America. And as we present the colors, we're going to sing the national anthem. And even before that, to set the stage, we're going to have 4 people come up to talk. Representative John Bell will be there. Chris Gurley will be there, Commissioner Gurley. Mayor Gaylor and Stitch Novchik, the new 4th Fighter Wing Commander, will be there too, to let us know a little bit about what this means to us, what this 250th birthday means to us, and then we'll get right into it. I've got a couple other surprises I'm hoping plan out, so I don't want to say those right now. I'll let you know right off the bat. It may have something to do with some planes in the air. We'll see how that goes, but ultimately, I'm committed to this in the future. This will not be the only year, and it will always be on the 4th of July. Our plan is always to celebrate on the 4th of July. And so, any other questions, sir? Council? Well, thanks for the support for this, and thanks for what you do for our city. I know most of you very well, and I'm so thankful to know you. So, thank you, sir.
When it comes to jets, I guess it's good to know a guy that knows some guys.
Yeah, it's good to know somebody. It may not be those fast ones, but you'll see.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
And I believe the recipient for the National Gun Violence Awareness Month proclamation has also been able to arrive. And so if you would like to come forward, we'll do that presentation as well.
Today, I'm just here to publicly speak to the families, the city of Goldsboro, the wonderful families that God has allowed me to minister to, families that God has allowed me just to be there for them in their corners. Nothing loud, but just being there in sentimental moments. And I'm honored to be here for the community members. And it all started when I lost my brother to gun violence in 2017. At the end of my semester in high school, my brother was killed, and my classmate was killed. Then I lost my niece and my nephew to gun violence. So what I do is done with purpose. And I want all the families to know that I appreciate you guys for allowing me to be your voice, allowing me to be there for you. My support resources may not look like everybody else's, but thank you for accepting me for who I am and just getting to know me for me and allowing me to come into your families and just show you love, show you support. I thank God for you all, continuing to pray for you all as always, but just the month of June, not only the month of June, but every month, we show support to these families. We show up for them, and so I want you guys to know that we love you, we're for you. If there's anything that we can do, we're here, and we want to thank the city for just giving this proclamation. This proclamation is not for me, but it's for the families, and one of the families will get this proclamation and be able to put it in their homes and to honor their loved ones that they lost to gun violence. It's just very, very sentimental to me, and so thank you for this opportunity.
All right, next on our agenda is item 4.4. It is a mid-year presentation and update from our Recreation Advisory Commission. Mr. Livingston, will you be kicking things off, or do I hand it directly over to the chair or to Ms. Felicia?
I would hand it over to Ms. Felicia, please.
Okay. Ms. Brown, floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
We're here this evening to provide you all an update on our Recreation Advisory Commission, or as I fondly call it, our RAC. They've been working hard and diligently, and I'm trying to not take away Archbishop Slater's presentation, but I know that they've had some accomplishments as far as that. I know they definitely want to share with you all and celebrate over these last few months, one of which, of course, being the culmination of our comprehensive parks recreation master plan, seeing that to fruition. But I'm not going to take away the entire presentation, so I'm going to introduce you all to our Recreation Advisory Commission chair. Some of you may have seen him earlier tonight, but our chair is Archbishop Anthony Slater, and he's going to give you all an update on what we've been doing.
Good evening again. We just want to just share a couple of things that we have been doing as the Goldsboro Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We've been busy. I just want to give a couple of overviews, things that some people may not understand what we do, why we do. The committee makeup. Do I need to press some buttons, or this is going to go for me? All right. Yes, the committee makeup is you have to be a resident of the city of Goldsboro, first and foremost. We strive for representation from all districts, members from various backgrounds. We meet on the third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. at Peachtree Recreation Center. Councilman White serves as our ex officio member, who comes quite often to encourage us and answer all of our questions that we're going to find in a minute as we do. So, who are we? I'm Archbishop Anthony Slater. I represent District 5. We have Latoya Stallings, District 4. Sandra Cox, District 6. Iris Robinson, District 5. Barbara Baker, District 4. Chad Evans, District 5. Ricardo Ballard, District 6. Charles Henry, District 3. Candy Morgan, affectionately known as District 2. Darrell Smith, which is our student member, which represents District 5. And of course, again, Councilman Roderick White, ex officio. We have one vacant position, hopefully that District 1 can grab somebody out and that will be interested in representing. We got you. All right, there, we got it. All right, so what we have done, we also have formulated a scholarship fund letter, and as a donation from businesses in particular, or even individuals, businesses, to contribute to No Child Will Be Denied an Opportunity to Play. During the summer months, kids, we have programs, but they have to be paid for. I'm speaking to the choir here. So we've asked businesses that's in our area to donate so that we can get those who have larger families, so that if you have a family of 5, that we can help and have some monies that we have aside that does not come out of the budget. We have a line item of the people who are giving that we can pull from. And so that's what we've been doing. We have updated it. All right, we have updated some things on it, but that was great for that. Next thing is, we saw the completion of the comprehensive master plan for Parks and Recreation using the McGill Associates. RAC served as the steering committee, and the city council adopted it, as you well know, and we appreciate you doing that, because now the plan provides the roadmap for the next 5 to 10 years. RAC advising on implementing the things in the plan. The plan will also be critical as Parks and Recreation Department applies for grants. And I think that we're going to really be ready for the next process, and when the grants come up, we look better at this point in all that we've been doing and you've been doing. So we go on. So what we've been doing, Herman Park Center, rather the Herman Park Pavilion, we've continued looking at different things that was happening. We tried to renovate some things. We could continue identifying the areas needed and the maintenance within our parks and facilities. We went in and pulled up some flooring and realized that we had some neighbors that was hanging out in the wood. We had to get rid of them and put some new wood in. And now we are on the way for that. It'll be safer for our community and continue to move forward. Also, we continue to push for improvements in all of our parks. As you know, that we have the North End Park, all-exclusive playground, is completed, and we are proud to be a part of that, even with Trillium being the donor of helping us get to that. I had the privilege of help going down to receive that in Beulahville, North Carolina, and we had a great time. And so at this time, I would turn this over. If you have any questions for me, or then I can turn it over to our director if I don't know.
Council, what comments and questions do we have? Again, the purpose of this is to ensure that we try to hear from every appointed commission at a regular interval. We want to make sure that RAC, is in front of us so that we know what's going on. Because sometimes things, things can go on autopilot, and we certainly don't want to be. We don't want to miss out on what all's going on. Council, any comments, questions so far? Hearing none. Are there any other projects that are coming up that you want to talk about right now? I mean, you've got summer camps, and again, I'm not here to put you on the spot. Yeah. But summer camps are huge for in Parks and Recreation. I know last year every spot was full and sold out. How are we looking this year? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe the director can I shed some light on that. But I do know that we have other things that's happening, like Freedom Fest is coming. We'll be out at Bryant Park. They're having the flag football. Mm-hmm. They're going to be out there, and we're going to be enjoying that. And then I'm just glad that we had vision that we have a facility that they can come on out there and play, and that we're able to accommodate an idea and a dream to bring us together, and that makes a difference.
Thank you for all you do. Again, these are volunteer positions, and the fact that you and the other board members, this goes to every single one of them, that you continue to make time to invest in the community around you. It means the world, and I hope that as you see things that need improvement, if we can pay for it, we'll pay for it. If not, then we'll figure out a plan. You know what I mean? It's a team effort. Thank you for allowing us to serve. Council, last chance. We're good. Thank you so much, Archbishop. All right, next we'll move to our public hearings. Mr. Livingston, I'm going to turn it over to you for item 5.1, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we held a briefing last month on the City of Goldsboro Stormwater Management Plan, we also advertised for a public hearing. Tonight is the night that we were going to have our holder public hearing as advertised, and we have our we have Bobby Brown, our Stormwater Management team here to talk about that.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry, Bobby Barnes. I said Brown.
You're good.
I apologize.
Ms. Barnes, welcome back. Thank you again. You gave us a very high-level overview last time to kind of sort of pique our interest. And I know you have another presentation for us this evening, after which time we'll then open up the public hearing. But I want to make sure people know enough to know what questions to ask. So okay. Thank you for coming back.
So I'm here to present our stormwater management program. We have 6 criteria for our stormwater management program. This program is actually a continuation of our 2024 stormwater management plan. The 6 criteria are public education and outreach, public involvement and participation, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site runoff controls, post-construction site runoff controls, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping for municipal operations. Some of the main concerns for our MS4 system is trash, illicit discharges, lawn and garden clippings, and sediment. The stormwater management plans changed from 2024 to 2026. DEQ has revised the formatting and updated the best management practices to make them more easy to follow and quantify. The Public Education Action Plan was removed from the Stormwater Management Plan and replaced with a summary of target pollutants, target audiences, and outreach strategies. The accomplishments since 2026, we have established a stormwater hotline. The number is 919-580-4227 to improve public reporting and response to stormwater concerns. We have completed a GIS mapping for the city's storm sewer system to support infrastructure management, maintenance, and planning. Developed GIS waters of the state layers, developed land use mapping layers, created GIS-based stormwater control inspection maps, and expanded and updated stormwater outfall mapping. Currently in progress from our 2024 plan is the development of illicit discharge detection and elimination plan to accompany illicit discharge control ordinance 6.6. The IDD plan will provide clear reporting procedures for city staff and residents to improve the city's ability to identify, respond to, and mitigate and eliminate illicit discharges and spills. We'll also be bringing back the post-construction stormwater control measure inspections to City Council in a couple months. And we are in the process of developing a water supply watershed overlay program.
So this is a mixture of stormwater as well as anything that could potentially get into the stormwater system.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the, I got you.
So our MS4 program encompasses, we have some best management practices, but you also have adjacent programs to the stormwater management plan program. So these new initiatives in the 2026 stormwater management program is increased outfall inspections. We're going from 5% of outfalls annually to 20% of outfalls and 50% of major outfalls. We're going to have expanded public participation and education, increased community outreach and public involvement events, and added an annual watershed management conference to get public input and provide educational opportunities, and include MS4 education at Citizens Academy. New initiatives, it's continued, is expanded education materials and outreach efforts focused on stormwater pollution prevention and watershed stewardship, and Mayor's Youth Council partnership. We're hoping to get the youth engaged in local cleanups, and we've seen a lot of really good interest from the youth in community cleanups. This was one of them. We did the Creek Week. We had about 10 youth come out, and they showed a lot of initiative, and they wanted to expand it. They showed leadership and trust. Here is our stormwater hotline, and the bottom one is our Public Works hotline. Are there any questions for the stormwater management plan? Council.
Council, any comments or questions at this stage?
I do have a question, Mr.
Yes, sir, please.
Just, we talked about this the last meeting we had about the ditches and the culverts. That's a part of the stormwater type deal. So have we got a plan to ensure that we identify the ditches and the culverts that belong to us, to ensure that we make all type of efforts before, you know, it gets bad?
We are developing a GIS map that has the ownership of the ditches so that we can work with the community to identify who's supposed to be maintaining them.
And then the follow-on question with that is, once we do identify who owns it and maintains it, what is our ordinance that will enforce the landowner to ensure that those ditches are maintained?
But we don't really have one of those that's clearly a clear policy on that. So that's another thing that I've tasked them with about, you know, the stormwater program for us is fairly new, so we have current practice, but we don't have an adopted policy.
Okay. That's all I have.
This is very similar questions that have come up to what the councilman just asked. And this, I did note that one of your slides said we're going to have, you know, this is the overall plan. We're trying to adopt our plan, and then that later this fall there would be an ordinance that comes behind that. Can you discuss a little bit about what that ordinance would touch on? That's the illicit discharge one.
Yes, the illicit discharge. So the illicit discharge, we're going to be looking at, you know, any kind of pollutant that goes into the storm sewer system or conveyances of the storm water. That will include, you know, street washing of cars, stuff like that.
So there's going to be a couple of different ordinances and things that come out of this, once we get something in place.
Yes, we'll have to update the illicit discharge, the nuisance ordinance, and the stormwater.
And the nuisance ordinance would be what Councilman was just asking about. The things clogging up culverts would be considered nuisances, right? Is that how that's going to work?
It depends. There's a little bit more to it. So if they're grandfathered in, like the stormwater control measures, if they're grandfathered in, they're going to be considered nuisances. But it will be in there.
As long as we use this plan to develop some teeth so that we can actually do things. I don't want, as always, I don't want us putting in work and then end up hamstringing ourselves. So, I trust that what we're doing will be able to empower our staff to be able to resolve problems and things. Anyway, council, anything else? All right, with that, let's open up the public hearing. So we will begin our public hearing. Madam Clerk, if you would please, or RIT, if y'all could get up the timer. There we go. The basic ground rules is, as always, it's a 5-minute timer for the public hearings for ordinances and plans, things like this. So we will move forward. Do we have anyone to come forward and speak? If we do, please approach the dais and state your name. Second call, anyone wishing to come forward and speak on item 5.1, the city's stormwater management plan. All right, third and final call, anyone wishing to come forward and speak on item 5.1. All right, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Mr. Livingston, there is a resolution included in the package. You need action on the resolution this evening, right?
I would like that, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect. I knew that was the intent. I just wanted to make sure that something hadn't changed there. Council, there is a resolution included in item 5.1 within the packet, resolution approving the City of Goldsboro Stormwater Management Plan dated July 1, 2026. Are we in a position where council would feel comfortable making a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution based on the 2 presentations that she's done an excellent job with.
Second.
All right, motion has been made and properly seconded to adopt the resolution approving the plan. Is there any debate? Hearing none. Yes, sir, please.
I just to clarify, just to make sure, I don't have a problem with what's in there, but I do have a problem with what's not in there. So are we making sure that we're going to approve it on contingency that we will put in the control measures for the ditches and things like that to identify those type of deals?
The ordinances are going to have to come behind it either way. Yes, those ordinances have to come behind it.
To put this in perspective, it's kind of like the land use plan. We adopted a new land use plan, or we're working on one, and then we'll have a UDO behind that. So this will help us with figuring out what we need to do, but we do need to make some policy changes as soon as possible. But I want to make sure they're going to, line up with what our plan is here.
Okay, so my only apprehension is, I know we do a lot of policy changing and things of that nature, but I do not want this to fall off the radar, because this is something that is hampering our constituents out in the communities about ditches who don't belong to the city, but they don't belong to that person. They're not upkept, and we need some type of ordinance. So if we approve it, it has to be on the contingency. Well, for me to vote for it, it will have to be on the contingency that we will come by, give some timetable to come by with some solid policy that will help the constituents out.
And I'm right there with you, because I've actually talked to them about this, so it's not anything surprising to them, and we just needed to get this first so that we could get this under our belt, so to speak, and then work on the other things.
So I can't go backwards, but the conveyances, thank you. The conveyances are part of it. It's just the stormwater management plan is like the first step, and then we start to establish the local ordinances. And the pollution prevention, good housekeeping, that's also going to include our ditches, our conveyances, and then we're going to go out into the community. So the stormwater management plan is the first step, and then we'll be coming back this fall with our additional nuisance control and additional ordinance updates.
Okay.
Do we have a timetable? I know we discussed just in passing in the agenda meeting a general timeline, but you're thinking fall? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just to Councilman, just to give you a little bit of a perspective on timing. The expectation right now, again, was fall. At least that's what was communicated to me. Fall.
We're in the progress right now in the first steps of working through identifying whose ownership of the ditches and working through some of the processes right now.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with everything you've done. Thank you for all your hard work. I do know in the fall is when when we really, get backed up with things as far as leaves and pickup and that type of deal, and wheelbarrows been dumped in ditches and things of that nature. So I just want to. Is it going to be the beginning of fall? And the reason I'm asking is because in my district there are a plethora of trees, right? So they'll pick up. There are going to be a lot of leaves, and then somehow those leaves walk mysteriously to the backyard and in ditches. So I just want to make sure that we have a plan so we can negate it now. We can head it off before it happens.
So the ordinances are going to start coming in the fall, but we're going to do things before that, public education and clean up and work with our partners, our community partners, to facilitate, making sure the conveyances are how they're supposed to be.
Yeah, real quick, we had talked about bringing some of the ordinances back in September. We've got one meeting coming up, I think, in July, and that's the middle of July, and then we've got a couple in August. So we got to get time to get all these ordinances squared away so that we can make sure we got our ducks in a row. When it comes to the ditches, we already have a lot mapped out, and we've got that. GIS has taken that stuff out, put it in a separate map, and they've sent it over to Public Works now, and Public Works is kind of going through and vetting all that. Looking at ditches, the ownership, they're color-coded, DOT, private, city-owned. So they're just kind of looking through them, stuff that they've maintained over the years, stuff that they haven't maintained over the years. Does this need to be put on the map? They're making a bunch of notes for us and just kind of going through that. So we're working through that right now.
All right, thank you.
The idea is similar to like the Powellville map with streets, so that we'll be able to quickly identify, and citizens can quickly identify. It will be one of our public-facing GIS maps on our website.
And then my last thing is education to the public. So when we identify that there's a ditch that doesn't belong to the city, but it is maintained as a private ditch, we need to have some type of education to where that homeowner knows that it's their responsibility to have that ditch maintained. And I ask that we do that not just in our water bill, but we call some type of community forum or something, and we can probably talk about a plethora of policies that we are going to enact. But I do think that we need to make a concerted effort.
Sure, I agree.
So in front of us, we have a motion and a second to adopt the plan, and I think you've certainly heard, and I very much echo the sentiments of urgency of getting these in front of us to be able to have something enforced for this fall. And so I think you've heard that, and that's been made very clear. So the motion on the table is the plan as it stands. The directive from council, I think, just reading the room, I think directive of council is to please add some urgency and get this in front of council end of summer, early fall, so that the teeth are in place to be able to get through a successful fall leaf season. Bringing us back to the motion at hand, is there any other debate on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. Please vote electronically if possible.
Councilman Jones isn't logged in, so
all right.
Your vote. Thank you.
I know the clerk will accurately reflect the vote count in the minutes and probably on the screen in just a moment, but motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
I just have to update it.
All right, you're good. You're good. All right, Mr. Livingston, if you would please take us through item 5.2.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, again, following up from our briefing last month. This is an erosion and sediment control update in our unified development ordinance as we start progressing in our efforts to handle and manage stormwater runoff. This is one of the steps that's essential to that. And I'll have engineering and Bobby Barnes come up and explain this further for us.
And on this one, council, again, in the packet, you do have the actual ordinance that, if it's the will of council, we would be voting on after the public hearing or debating after the public hearing. Just to go ahead and get that in front of everybody, it is part of the agenda package. Ms. Barnes.
This is going to be our erosion and sediment control 6.7. It is control measure 4 for our stormwater management plan. So we are seeking local delegation of the erosion and sediment control from the state. Currently, this DEQ is in charge of all our erosion and sediment control. And how it will work is the applicants will submit a land disturbance permit application and erosion and sediment control plans to the city, and we will approve them and send them a letter to tell them you can get your NCG 01 from the state. They will then take the letter, get the NCG 01, and we will monitor the site for compliance with the erosion and sediment control. So the only difference that we have from the state standards right now is the acreage. We will be doing any acreage over 0.5 acres for plan review. The state standard is over 1 acre. There are some enforcement and penalties. These are the state standards right here. So construction site runoff, which minimum control number 4. This is just an overview of the different type of things that we see for erosion and sediment control on active construction sites. So you'll see right here, these are silt fences, and then we have construction entrances and storm drain inlet protections, sediment basins, and temporary seeding to help control sediment from leaving construction sites. This is one of the reasons we need this ordinance. How it works now is the state reviews all our erosion and sediment control, but the MS4 coordinator has asked that we seek delegation from the state for it. This right here is a construction entrance that doesn't have the proper material to keep sediment out of the streets. We actually had 2 complaints about this one. And what happens is the sediment goes into our storm drain inlets and clogs them up and goes into our storm drain sewer system. This right here is a stockpile at one of the local construction sites. And you can see that there's a inlet right there to your right in the picture. And what happens is all that sediment will go into the inlets and collect, and it'll clog up our storm drains and keep the water from flowing during storms.
So is the issue in that picture the location of the pile? Or, I mean, they've obviously taken some degree of measurement or some degree of protection of that drain, but compared to that pile, it seems like a bit of a inadequate response. So is the real issue there where they place the pile?
So it's multiple things. It's where they place the pile right next to that inlet. It's the size of the pile. I don't know if you can tell. It's quite, a lot bigger. It's quite large. And you're supposed to have a silt fence around the pile. And it's also creating a safety hazard. That wasn't too far from local communities and homes. So if kids go to, get on it, there's a good chance it could collapse. So I know I walked by it and I was a little nervous. This is another image of our local construction site that we had issues with. So what happened was they were cleaning out the underground piping and stuff, and they were pumping the sediment and the water into conveyances that are on private properties and located, not on the construction site. So what happens is all the conveyances will go into the local streams. This is another issue that we've had trouble with. So it was not temporary seeded, and when that happens, you can see it causes infrastructure problems right here, and these pipes will actually collapse sometimes. And you can't rebuild the dirt back underneath these. So what happens is, I think I took that one out. So what happens is the pipe will actually collapse. This is the side of a sediment basin, and we actually, if you can see up here on the map, up here on the picture, this area right here, it doesn't look, too bad, but we actually created a safety issue, and we had somebody fall into it. So this is kind of why we need to have our erosion sediment control delegated to us, so that we have the ability to watch over these sites.
So this will actually give us the authority to go out and enforce.
Yes.
As opposed to simply see it and then call somebody else and hope they enforce.
Yes, and it's already state standards. All these, the fines and all the expectations are already state standards. We're just taking over delegation from a state.
And one of the issues there, Mayor, is that the state just doesn't have the manpower, and so they're recommending in a lot of cases that municipalities with MS4 permits do their own inspections.
And I fully support us doing this. I like us having the authority to self-regulate and do things more. Irony notwithstanding that we're simultaneously being asked to take on more responsibility while the General Assembly is also debating other things about the merit of cities. That aside, our manpower, what does our enforcement arm look like, and how do we make sure that we can effectively do it?
So I see us having to do a lot of cross-training here with various folks with public works, code enforcement, and us being able to understand what the minimum, criteria is to have a properly installed silt fence and things like that. So, and we have stormwater management teams out there daily. So, and if there's any discrepancy in as whether or not it's a violation, Ms. Barnes will be the subject matter expert on that. But I think that's the approach we're planning on taking.
So the approach is to empower those who are already in a position to see the violation with the ability to cite the violation.
Yes, sir.
That's logical. Council, do you have anything else?
I do not, unless you guys have questions.
Council, do you have anything else before we go into the public hearing? Hearing none, how about we go ahead and do the public hearing? And we will open the public hearing for, that's a fantastic image to leave on the screen during the public hearing as an example of why this would be a thing. So item 5.2, this is now a public hearing for establishing Article 6.7 erosion sediment control of our UDO in the city of Goldsboro. Is anyone here to come forward and speak? If so, please approach other timer while they're fixing that. If anyone's here to come forward and speak, please approach the dais and state your name. All right, second call, anyone wishing to come forward and speak on item 5.2. Third and final call, anyone wishing to come forward and speak on item 5.2. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and we will go back to our deliberations. Council, have you thought of any questions in the last few moments? If not, I would entertain either a motion to table or a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented. All right, motion has been made to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion has been made and properly seconded to adopt the ordinance as presented. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we will call the vote. Those who are able to, please vote electronically. If not, please note. Councilwoman Jones, if you'd please state your vote for the record.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, perfect. I'm sorry, I saw her hand go up. That's fine.
She did, and I saw it.
Oh, and then you got it? All right, perfect.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 7-0. The ordinance is adopted. And you guys know you have a lot of lifts in front of you because there's other ordinances coming down that we do want to see in a reasonable time frame. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll continue following our agenda and move to our public comment period. Anyone wishing to come forward, Mrs. Getz, please get the list. All right.
Mayor, our first speaker is Whitney.
All right.
Hey, I'm not Whitney, but she got me because I put her name first. So I'm gonna go first before her.
Okay. I got you.
I'm gonna go before her. How's everybody doing?
Good. Hope you are.
Doing good. My name is Rodney Robinson. First of all, I want to say this.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Do you mind if
Oh, you gotta get the time.
they don't have the time up yet?
Pause for IT just for a second. Mr. Robinson, just have a seat just for a second. We'll wait for IT to get things tidied up, and then we'll move back to the public hearing, or to the public comment period.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Mr. Robinson, if you'd like to come back up, reset the timer. There we go.
Good evening
Good
again.
evening.
First, I want to say this. I don't think I speak enough of sharing my experiences that I have had in my city. I love my city. I love being a part of Goldsboro. There's no other place that I will go and call home. I can't. Home is always going to be home, and I love my city. Whether I am overlooked, underlooked, appreciated, unappreciated, it does not matter because I'm here, and I'm here for a purpose. And I'm going to live that purpose. I'm going to find that purpose. I make mistakes. I get up every day and try to learn from the mistakes and keep it pushing. The past is the past. We're moving forward. So first of all, I want to thank my community for just allowing me to be that voice for them. I can't stress it enough that I get up every day and I literally think about all of the families that I have served and been there for. Not only that, I think of you guys. We may not agree on everything, but I think of you guys and I call you guys' name out every day in prayer that God will continue to give you guys wisdom to lead this city, to move this city forward. So I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this city. I pray that moving forward, things will, get better, that there will be more opportunities for nonprofits like the Rock Foundation that's really trying to bring a difference in the community. But sometimes we are overlooked, but it's okay because we're here and we're going to continue to show up. But I would love to see more support in local nonprofits that are in the hood. I'm be real. They're in the hood. Before I got here, guess what? They was out there fighting and all this stuff. I'm in the middle of this stuff. I see it happening every day. I experience it. So that's why I come. That's why I show up, because it's experience. I don't come in here and just run my mouth just to run it. Trust me, I don't got time for that. I got other things to do. But I want people to understand that I have a purpose, and I'm going to continue to live my purpose. But the Rock Foundation Incorporated, we are moving forward, and there's some things that we have implemented this summer that's going to help our community. My community, where I live in, where I get up every day, where I see kids running when they hear gunshots, people ducking when they hear gunshots. That's the community that I stand for. I love it, my entire city, but I like to get where the need is. Everybody have their different mission. That's fine. I'm not here to fight your mission, but I ask you to respect mine as I continue to go forward to help the city of Goldsboro. So if you want to tag along, if you want to support the Rock Foundation, we're doing great things. We may not talk about it loud, but we do great things. And I just ask for just the respect, because it's not about me. It's about the community. It's about our kids, our future. My son will be raised up in the city of Goldsboro with honor. I'll be happy to raise my son up in Goldsboro. But we have to see change within our communities, within our black and brown communities. We have to see change. The summer ain't even started yet, and folks started shooting already. But we have to make sure things are implemented before it happens, not when it happened and you come up here and say, oh, this, that, and the third. We got to have it in place before it happens. So thank you for the time. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Whitney.
Good evening. My name is Whitney Brown Toon, and I am a resident of Wayne County, and I am the mother of Jalea Lily Toon. I am here tonight because I care about the safety of our children, accountability, transparency, and the future of our community. After losing my daughter, I have learned how important it is for families to have confidence in every available resource is being used to prevent violence, support victims, and strengthen public trust. How much funding is dedicated to youth violence prevention? What measurements are in result? What measurable results have been achieved for these investments? What programs exist to identify, assist at-risk youth before violence occurs? What resources are available for families affected by violent crimes? How are city leaders measuring success and accountability? As Jalea's mother, I continue to have concerns about whether all evidence has been fully reviewed and whether every individual connected to the event surrounding my daughter's death has been properly investigated. I am not asking for the board to determine guilt or innocent. I am asking for transparency, accountability, and confidence that every lead and every piece of evidence received full consideration, families deserve confidence. Investigation all through and all available evidence are reviewed. Now I recognize the importance of treating crime victims and dignity and respect throughout the criminal justice process. Victims and their families deserve information, respect, and meaningful participation as case moves through the system. Public trust and strength when the government institutions are transparent, responsive, and accountable. And I also would like to address the fact that the employee of Goldsboro Police Department falsely charged me for carrying a firearm that was concealed that got dismissed. Luckily for the evidence that it was not concealed. I do not have a record. I do not live in the hood. I can't help people live in, but that don't define me or my children. Everybody should be treated equally. And we need more resources for these kids. We need to do something, not just one day event, through the summer. Keep them active, keep them busy. The detective asked me what was I gonna do. Give me the funding and I'll show you what I can do. I'm just being honest. I can't take care of everybody else's kids. So whatever we could come up with to provide resources for these families and for these kids to do, because what are they gonna do? Like you said, people are already dying, school's already out. I don't want you to get hit. I don't want me to get hit. I don't want my mother. I have a 3-year-old son. I don't want anybody to get hit from gun violence. And it still continue to happen. So if the police department focus on the ones that's doing the crime instead of the ones that don't have records and trying to just mess up their life, then we might get something resolved around here in Wayne County.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Mayor, that was our last speaker.
Thank you. Right, next we'll move to our consent agenda. Mr. Livingston, if you would hear any remaining questions on consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have, as you said, 4 items on consent agenda. Fairly standard approval of minutes, consideration of a sole source procurement for specialized proprietary hardware and monthly reports, and also amending the grant project ordinance for CDBG funds to make sure that our books are cleaned up. If you have any specific questions, we also have the finance director here that can answer those as well. Generally speaking, these consent agenda items are routine in nature and have been before the city council sometimes multiple times.
Council, any comments or questions on consent agenda items? If none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Motion's been made and properly seconded to adopt consent agenda items as presented. Now please vote electronically if possible.
On vocal, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, motion, all votes being in the affirmative, motion passes. Consent agenda items 7.1 through 4 are approved. All right, we'll move to section 9 on our agenda. Seeing there is no old business, we'll move to section 9 on our agenda, item 9.1. Mr. Livingston, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a contract for investment advisory services. Some months back, I instructed the finance director to look into investing our idle funds so that we could get greater returns within what the general statutes allow for us to do. So she sought RFQs and met and interviewed with various investment agencies. This is very much a niche type of work that they do. Investing public funds is not something that you typically, it's not like a Edwards Jones or Fisher type investment. It's more specialized, highly specialized on how you can get a good yield with public funds. And I'll have Catherine answer any questions or give a brief as to how she went about this, but it is a way for us to get a greater yield from our investments, and since our finances have been improving, we're trying to think strategically and bring in additional dollars to the city.
And just for added clarification, this resolution approves the vendor, the advisory services. It does not dictate that any specific volume of cash is going to be, is going to be under their advisement. It's them being available to manage our cash and investment assets for those things that are sitting there waiting to be used for whatever reason. So this does not dictate that we have to clean out our accounts in any sort of way. It's purely just the management of cash, ensuring that we're being as responsible as possible and generate as much of a return as possible. And remember that those returns on that on any cash or additional money we can use for other programs. So it's the goal of trying to generate more. Council, this being the first time that we have seen this one, it being relatively mundane, it is available for our disposition. We can vote this evening, but as is our tradition, I always want to make sure that council has the opportunity to table something for a consent agenda item at our next meeting. But if it is the will of council, but this being a relatively straightforward one, we can entertain a motion to approve this evening. But I would either need a motion, we either need additional questions, or a motion to table, or a motion to approve.
I have a question for Ms. Catherine.
Please.
Ms. Gwen, can you tell me how much this this contract is for?
It's for $39,000 per year. They were not the absolute cheapest, but they were they were responsive. I think the other one that I had was a little bit cheaper, but they did not provide us what we needed as far as the requirements go. So we had to go through a checklist to make sure that all the relevant items for compliance were there. So the way that it ran is Valley View and then Chandler, excuse me, Chandler would have been about $48,000 a year. They were the second runner-up. And then U.S. Bank Corp, which is PFM Asset Management, was about $52,500. So of the responses that we got, the Valley View was the cheapest, and it is a 3-year contract. But bearing in mind, if for any reason these services that they're providing to us, if we're not happy, it's 30 days notice, and we cancel, we walk away. And there's no fault, no penalty involved with that.
And I think it's important to understand how much kind of cash we're talking about as far as idle funds. If you can kind of go over what you anticipate to be, that they'll be working with in terms of investing.
So, our cash total, we give that to the council monthly in a report's roughly in the mid-$80 million range. So what we're anticipating, there's probably in the range of about $50 million of additional cash. That right now what we do is we have a money market account. It's real easy, okay? The accounting, reporting, the auditing is very easy on it. But so what they will do is, they will help us project the cash flow of what our needs are, looking at what we've budgeted, what we've got coming up, projects and things of that nature. And then they'll give us like a 3, 6, 9, 12 month, 18 month range. And they'll help us to say, okay, well, if you invest in this U.S. Treasury certificate at 9 months, you will get a 4.5% return. Well, right now we might be getting 2.25%. So that's what they're going to help us do. The investments are the City of Goldsboro's investment. This is not a brokerage account. All they do is provide us advice, professional advice, to seek out it could be a bank, it could be commercial paper, it could be U.S. Treasury investment, that kind of thing. But my expectation, based on what we're doing now, is probably around that $50 million is what we're looking to spread in order to increase that rate that we're getting right now, because we're getting basically rock bottom because it's in the money market account. And my staff and I are not, that we're accounting, accountants and accounting people, so that's not our financial investments, not our particular expertise, which is why we're getting these folks, because we get a team of those type of people that will help us manage our money with, its safety, liquidity, and yield. It has to be in that order, not just in accordance with financial policy, but that's also what the state and the LGC mandates from us to, to comply with the general statute. So, is that, Matt, did I cover enough of the
and I think the other thing is I think it's safe to say that we will double our return versus what their costs are.
Is So, one more question. So, and again, I understand the contractual part in reading that this weekend where we could abort from that contract within 30 days if necessary. But for the investment of close to $120,000, was there not anyone qualified on our banking team that could advise us in that area?
Banking, as far as our bank that we bank with, no ma'am. This is a very specialized, as the mayor said, niche industry. When you're talking about compliance with GS 159, we have that statute and we have to comply specifically with those investments. So no ma'am. I mean, and now bearing in mind we did get 6 proposals. We put it out there on our BidNet site, so that gets millions of exposure, millions of people's exposure, and we only received 6 back. And like I said, out of the 6, 2 were not really in compliance with what we're trying to ask for. So we did not even get a response from our bank as well.
Yes, sir.
Just random question. So, is there such a thing for a lot larger than we are, obviously, to where there's a staff person that does that? That's what I think.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the references that I contacted was City of Durham, and she is the treasury manager, so she works underneath the finance director, and I think she said they had a staff of 2 or 3. And Valley View helps them with their investments. So, their portfolio is, like, I think she told me 225, 250 million. Ours is 85. So, so the amount of money makes a difference.
The spread was there to be able to cover the cost of the employee.
Yeah. And it was fine before when we were managing it through, like, the money market. It was fine when our cash was like in that 25, 30 million, and we really had no excess cash. It took us day to day, week to week, month to month kind of thing. But as our fund balances increased, it really doesn't make sense that we're only getting like 2% or 2.25% when we could almost double that return on the excess that we have. It just makes sense to do that because they should. And if in my analyzing it, if we find out that we are not, then we absolutely have to get out of the contract because it makes no sense, right? Because we could do that in-house. So, but I don't think that's what we're going to find.
Okay. And what would the real-world number guesstimate be? Like if we're looking at spending $40,000 for the person, are we going to make an extra 100? What's the projection?
That was my off-the-cuff projection, just to kind of trying to do some rough math. It was going to be about 100 that we would get in return. I feel like it's going to be more than that, but I mean, as all of y'all know, it's so hard to predict with the economy and the kind of state of how things are today. With things going up and down, it really is hard to predict. But I think a safe guess is that we will at least get 100,000, if not more. So we're going to monitor that very closely. And one thing that we're really excited about is they're going to help train us, so we will get more information and learn more about the investment side of it, about the economics of it. Included in their proposal is also a bank RFP that they will do because I think the bank we've been with now is at least, they've been using it for at least 25 years. And it's really time because the fees are expensive and we really need to take a fresh look. That is included in their proposal, which was not in anybody else's. They even offered to come tonight from Virginia to meet with you all, but I said, well, let's see how it goes. And if council would like to, we can bring you back. They will travel for free. Others you have to pay for their travel included. So there were a lot of things, that they're going to do a lot of cash flow forecasting for us. Reporting will be customized to what the council and the management wants. So they offer a lot of service, and their only clients are governmental clients, which is not the case for quite a few of the other. I mean, really for everybody else, they do a mix of clients. So it's nice to know that they are specialized in the government municipal accounting field. And the person, it's a principal, so this is privately owned, and it's employee ownership as well that's in it. So, I think we get a lot of that personalized service that you don't maybe get from like a large corporate entity. So.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, with what Ms. Gwen just said, I would ask that we table it and see if they could come down and actually do a presentation.
Sure.
So if that's made in the form of a motion, there's a motion to table until our next meeting. That could be at our July meeting, right? And this isn't fiscal year specific, is it? Ms. Gwen?
I'm going to have to roll the money over, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the money's budgeted, so we're going to roll it over into next fiscal year. Right. And my only thing, I was going to try to bring this in April, but obviously budget and other things, is just trying to get started with them so we can start the intensive work, but we're getting ready to get into audit season. Mm-hmm. So we may not be able to delay in it. We may not be able to get a whole year's worth of investing out of it, because you have to remember focus for us is going to be on the audit. So I mean, it just bear it in mind. You got a $40,000 contract. Let's look at 2/3 of that $100,000 is what we might be able to get in because of the delay. So.
Well, we have a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. There's a motion and a second on the table, or there's a motion and a second currently up for debate. Making sure this is written correctly. Yeah, the motion to table is what we currently do. Is there any debate on the motion to table? Yes, sir.
Just a question. So I'm okay with if we had moved forward, but I absolutely respect the council member that wants more information. So if we have that presentation at our next meeting and we're able to make a decision, then that's not going to, holding off, is that going to mess you up?
It starts us in the middle of audit season, so we have a little breather that we can start working on getting the stuff. But it's fine. I agree. If you feel like you need more information, then we want to provide it to you. So just, bear in mind, it might be a little bit slow approving it in July to get things started, but it's okay. We're good. The money's budgeted, so we can truck on. So, yeah, we'll be fine.
We'll be able to take action.
Yeah, and they're more than happy, would love to present to you all what they provide to other entities. So I think it'd be a good informational session for you as well. And that way, give you a chance to think if you got more questions, they'll, be here to answer those. Okay.
All right, so motions are made and properly seconded to table the item until the July 13 meeting. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. Please vote electronically if possible. All right, all votes being in the affirmative, this one is tabled. It will be under old business on our next agenda.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. That concluding the substantive components of our agenda, we'll move to our city manager's report.
I've got nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
All right, fair enough. All right. Yeah, it is the second meeting of the month. As is our tradition, we'll begin with with Councilman White from District 6. Councilman, the floor is yours.
I don't have anything, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Councilwoman?
No comment.
Pro Tem?
Two things. First of all, I want to thank the Goldsboro Fire Department and Chief Stempian. They came out quickly and helped with a structure fire in my neighborhood, so I'm extremely grateful for their support in that area. Also, I would like to take this time to wish Councilwoman Hiawatha Jones a happy birthday, just like I did the mayor the last time. I hope you've had a great birthday. We greatly appreciate you and the value that you bring to our team. So I hope you have an amazing, you've had an amazing birthday this week.
Councilwoman?
I just want to say happy birthday to Councilwoman Jones, and I also want to just a couple of things. There has not been a gun violence awareness proclamation day since I've been on council that Rodney Robinson has not came and spoke for the people that have been affected by gun violence. So I just want to thank him for that. I also want to commend Mrs. Brown-Toon for coming up and speaking on behalf of of the children. And, you know, just thank you for being strong and doing what you've been doing. And my condolences to you. That's all.
Councilman, floor is yours.
Okay. As always, thank you to all of our hardworking city employees and our staff. The city could not run without you. You're all valued and appreciated. And as I've said each time, I take great pride in being able to say that and sincerely mean that. I'd also like to say Happy Father's Day coming up to all the fathers out there, and especially mine. I'm glad that the Lord's blessed me to still have him with me. And happy birthday again to you, my dear. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman, floor is yours.
Yes, I want to thank each and every one of you for saying happy birthday to me. That's very nice. I appreciate it. I want to thank all the staff. You work very hard, and it does not go unnoticed. I also just want to commend the community. You know, I thank Rodney and Miss Whitney for coming up, but I see a difference in the community. I see the community coming together. The community has come together before, but it's more awareness now, and we're coming together, and regardless to what organization it is, we're coming together, and education is extremely important in educating our community. So I really do appreciate you coming forward for all things for our children, because they are our future. And so we really need to invest in them and pour in them. So I want to thank you all so very much, each and every one of you. And also, last thing is our ribbon cutting. KT spoke on it a little bit. We coordinated with KT, and at 1:30, the ribbon cutting will occur at James and Pine. And then there will be just a small program, just, you know, walk through. There will be some information, education there for the community. And if you were born and raised on James Street, there will be a sign-in sheet there for you, because we would like to know and hear from you. We want your stories. We want to build history. History is there, but we need some of your stories. So please come. We also started a brick campaign. The bricks are $100, and you can have your name or your family's name or your business name. And especially if you were a business on James Street, please do purchase a brick. You can also put your name, but for an additional $6, you can have a logo placed on the brick. So please think about that, and please come and have I'm praying that we all can have a good summer. Let's help keep our children safe in every way that we can. And I also would like to thank the churches for stepping up. We have a lot of churches that have stepped up even more so, and I appreciate that.
I'll echo happy birthday, belated birthday. Congratulations on another trip around the sun there. And a happy upcoming Father's Day to the fathers by choice and by blood. You know, that is a important role that we play in shaping young men. And whether they're related to you or not, you take that role sometimes, and it's an absolute privilege no matter how hard it is. And so thank you to all of you that choose to do it. The only other comment that I'm going to make is going to sound very familiar. The last couple summers have had very violent threads in the city of Goldsboro, and there have been intentional efforts to increase things through Parks and Recreation, to increase things through some of the churches. You know, there's been a strong community response. And I don't know if there's ever a time where you can rest your head and say, yes, everything has been done. But I know that there has been deliberate effort by every single member of this council in their own way as well as collectively. But I also want to recognize the Toon family. What you guys did taking an absolute tragedy and converting it into legislation that is going to help prevent and give police what they need in order to be able to hold others accountable is incredible. Your strength and wisdom at a time where that I'm sure everyone around you was just full of everything from fear to anger to fury to all the things, and finding the strength to be deliberate and intentional in your next steps, it's going to be codified and it will yield results because it will empower folks who are just on the edge of touchable to be very touchable. So thank you. That concludes my comments. Mr. Lawrence, anything further?
No closed session.
With that, council, don't forget tomorrow evening, us, Planning Commission, we will be over in the large conference room. That, of course, is open to the public as always. That one we will be discussing land use plan, and the consultants will be delivering a large presentation back to us to be to discuss all the work that's happened over the last year and a half or so in that specific regard. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. We'll vote by show of hands. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Seeing none, motion passes. We stand adjourned.